Hi, Tefl-Dude here, and today I want to show you how to record 2 to 5 separate screens individually. Now traditionally, OBS I would record just the one screen as you see it. And sure, I can add things to the top of this, post-processing, or now I could add my Lenovo monitor. I could have my main monitor, which you see here, and I could add the capture card, which is my iPad, recording my Surface Pro, and I could add my iPhone. Now, in the traditional sense, what you see here is what you get, and I couldn't take any of them away post-processing because this is the one video image. Whereas I'm going to show you how these 4 plus the main one can be recorded individually so you have better control over video editing. Let me show you the difference between the old way of doing things and this new way of doing things. I'm going to show you an old video I had from last year. I made this video, and in this video, this was the traditional method, just the one view of my camera, and I had a green screen, as you can see. And you know, basically, as I was showing you this PDF, nothing was changing. I was there stagnantly, and the sides and the top images of the PDF you could always see, unless I zoomed in, of course. But zooming in caused this kind of problem where I would zoom in with it or I would disappear totally. So now, this is the newer version of doing it. This is what happens when you have them individually recorded. The PDF is there. You're not looking at the edges around it. My camera is separate. I can, if I want to focus on the PDF, I can make myself smaller down in the bottom and go through the pages as and when I need to. And the great thing about that is if I want to zoom, like here is the old version. I zoomed in, I disappeared. If I want to zoom in on the new version, I've got my image there and I zoom in and I stay where I am because we're recorded separately. Let me show you some other gimmicks. Now here's a great one where I move from one side to the other. Here I'm on the left hand side and suddenly I decide, you know what, I would like to be on the right hand side and focus on the image there. And one final trick is here I wanted to show the clock. So I could show what time it is and what time it's going to be, but it's a bit small. I want to zoom in, and here I can zoom in without disturbing the rest of the image. How great is that? So without further ado, let's see how we can do this. Now, in order to install the source record, before you go to the website and that, you will have to click off and close your OBS, which is why I'm doing this on a virtual machine, because if I close my OBS then I can't record the installing of it. So here is your OBS on this other Windows version. Now I'm going to close out the OBS, because if you don't, then when you download the OBS source recorder, you won't be able to install it properly. Type in OBS source record, press enter, go to the forums area, and simply click the download. Now I'm going to show you how we install both the Windows and the Mac version. So here's the Windows version. Just click on that to download. Now, I will admit I have already downloaded it. So I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to go to my downloads folder. And here you can see I have 2 of them now. Here is the zip file. This is an exe file. We need the exe file from this zip. If you can't see the word zip or exe, then go to View and Show and click file name extensions, and then you'll see that this is a zip. If you double click, you cannot install it from within the zip file. You have to remove it and put it onto your desktop. So simply drag it and put it onto your desktop. And now you have the exe file you can install. So I'm going to close this out, and this, and this, and we're simply going to run this software. Remember, make sure your OBS is closed. Now you get this warning. It's because the guy who made it is a very small file. He's not going to pay for Windows protection. It's too much money. And just click run anyway. It's perfectly safe. Everybody's using it. Click yes. And then next and next. And finish. Now, in order to add the source record to the Mac, it's a little bit different because remember, Mac has all these restrictions. So just type in OBS source record in Safari and go to the very first link. And here on the right, you see download. We've done the Windows one. Let's do the MacOS one now. And let's close all this out and go to this source record. Now we should find this in our downloads folder. So let's see if it's there. There it is. It's source record in a little folder. Just double click on that. Now the bottom one, 86, x86, that's if you have an Intel. But we don't have that. I'm not sure what the universal one is for, but the one we want, because we have an M2 chip or any M chip, is the ARM64. So we're going to double click on that. And we get a warning once again. This is from outside sources. Don't move to the bin, just say done. But then you need to go to your system settings and check that it has been allowed. So go, as always, to privacy and security, scroll to the bottom, and here say open anyway. Now I've just remembered one thing, that the OBS has to be closed before you can install this properly. Otherwise we'll have to do it again. So notice there's a dot underneath the OBS record. That means it's still running. So if I just right click and quit, that dot is no longer there. So that means OBS is not running. Now I'm going to open anyway. Put in my password. And there you can see it has been allowed. Let's just click continue. And there it's done. It would allow, yes, access the downloads folder. Do you want to move the recording to the bin? You can move it to the bin. We don't need it anymore. It's installed and that's fine. So with that done, I'm going to move on to my main screen. Okay, so now we have the source record plugin, we have to add it to our individual screens or our individual sources, which are down here on the left. As you can see, I've got my Ava Media card, Lenovo. The only one I haven't added the source to is the actual iPad, which is this one with my big finger on the front. The others do actually have source recording, which means even if I turn them off here and here and here, even though I've turned those off, those screens are still recording now, even though that's not what you can see here. And so what we need to do is add the fourth one to it. So I'm going to right click the source, go to filters, and you simply click add filter. And here you can see the word source record. Now you must give it a good name. and I usually put rec at the end of it, so I know that it's the source record. And you get this table up with things you have to write in. Now at the moment, with none, this is going to record all the time unless you click this I off. And later I'm going to show you how to get a shortcut hotkey so you can switch this off and on. Because with the others, like I mentioned, the other screens are constantly recording because I didn't turn this I off. So they'll always record. Now, the first thing you have to do is decide what you want it to do. So turn on when recording. So whenever I'm recording, even on another scene, it's going to record this unless I turn it off by the eye. So I've put down recording, but you could also put recording and streaming if that's what you do often. I'm just putting recording. Now where I want to save it is important. I want to save it in OBS records. That's where all of these will be stored. So I'll select that folder. Now, here you need to put in the specific name. So I'll put the same name in, card SM. So it's the small card I've got. Save it as MKV because if you save it as MP4, which is nice, and you often have to change it to MP4 to use in recording editing software, if it breaks down, you've lost everything. With MKV, it will always save up until the point it's broken. So save it as MKV and you can what's called remux it in OBS. And I'll show you what I mean by that later. You can just remux the film it'll do it in a few seconds. So that's that. The only thing you have to focus on now is the audio, because without audio, you won't know how to link it up because they will all start at different times for some reason and they need syncing. So I always use the same microphone. This one I'll call track, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. I'll call it 4. And the source will be, I'll put it as the Behringer, which is what I normally use. The only thing is that I'll make sure that I put it on a very low setting, like 64, because it's not that important. The other things you have to look out for is the 30 frames per second, and the video encoder is important. Make sure, now this is a camera kind of thing, so I'm going to use my NVIDIA NVEC. If you don't have NVIDIA, then just use 264. With 264, you can record as many things as you like. But with NVIDIA, you can only record 3. Remember that. Only 3 things will it record. The 4th one, it won't work. So you're wasting your time. But I've only put 2 for NVIDIA, so I'm going to put this as the 3rd one. And the byte rate is 10,000. That's quite good for me. That's good enough. Leave everything as it is. And that's it. And simply close. Remember, check you've got it on recording. Otherwise, that could be a problem. So now I'm going to click close. And remember, I don't know if that's recording at the moment, but it should have started recording. So I'll just look at my video files area. And you can see I've got the A power working. That's my iPhone. I've got the AverMedia and Lenovo and the monitor. I don't yet have the iPad working. That will probably happen when I stop this recording and restart it again. Then A-Power will be included. Sorry, the iPad will be included. But however, it is included in the main video. What I mean by that is this one here is the main video and it's going to record that there. So I'm just going to go back to my video library. So what I may do now is stop this and restart it all. Stop the OBS, close it down, open it again so that this iPad camera is included in all my videos. So this is the second section. I'm going to stop everything and reopen again. Okay, so now I've restarted OBS. I press record and this iPad should be being recorded. Now, originally, you can see here, there are 4 videos that were recorded while I was doing the last monologue, but not the iPad. So, if I go back to this area here, you can see there are 5 video icons, and it says here, A-Power, AVerMedia, C-Card, Lenovo Monitor. So the C-Card is now being one of those recordings. So what I'm going to do is quickly close the video again, just so that I can show you these recordings were actually made. Okay, so I've restarted the OBS in order to show you that all 5 videos were made, including the iPad. Okay, so now I've restarted OBS, I press record, and this iPad should be being recorded. Now, okay, so there's the evidence of that. Okay, so now what you need to know is that all of these images are being recorded, even if I don't show them. These ones are being recorded. Even if I were to make them all invisible, they're still all recording in separate videos. But there may be a time when you don't need to be recording 5 videos at the same time. You may just need, as I did at the beginning, I just did the monitor and the camera. I can show you here in this part where I put install. You can see only the monitor and the AVerMedia camera are being recorded. So how do you turn them off? Well, what you need to understand is, let's say the C card I don't want to record next. You right click, go to filters, and you can see the eye is on. That means it's being recorded. You could go in here, click off, but then you have to do that for every one of them. It's much better if you can have some sort of key that helps you to do that. So to do that, let's go to the hotkeys in OBS. So here's the settings. Go to hotkeys, and there are a myriad of sources here. It's very hard to find where to put the hotkey in. Type in source, because remember it was source recording, and immediately you can see all the source recordings. You can see I've already made some hotkeys for them. I've made one for the AVerMedia. I've made one for the C card, which the big one, but the small one I haven't made. So what I want you to notice is, let's say the Lenovo. I'm going to move this over here, and the Lenovo should be hidden and shown depending on this keystroke. So let me go over here, right click Lenovo. Well, I can't do that at the moment. So let me click OK. So I'm going to right click Lenovo and go to the filters. Okay. Now you can see that the Lenovo, the eye is on. Now I have made that key, which is, I'm going to show you here with my camera here. I'm going to set this here and lower it a bit. Okay, so now you can see my keyboard, but you can also see my Elgato Stream Deck, which also helps you to, do the recording and do the pausing. So remember, it was Alt-L and Alt, the one next to L. So if you have a look at this key here where my yellow mouse is, and I click Alt and this item here, you see it goes off. But also notice it goes off here as well, because this is the Lenovo one. If I turn it on here, it comes on again. It goes off. Or I can turn it on again here, Alt-L, and it's on. So that's one way you can do it. Just give yourself some hotkeys and just do what I do, Alt off, Alt on, or buy yourself a Stream Deck where you can simply click a button and you know which ones are being recorded at which time. And that goes the same for all of them. And you can see I've got 5 keys here, and all of them are connected to either the camera or the monitor or other things that you add. As you can see, I've only added 5, and 5 is a lot. In your time of movie making, you probably only need 2 or 3. And this is how to make really good content. Now, later I'll show you how I did those tricks using Camtasia, but you can also use DaVinci Resolve, which I believe is free. And I will be trying to make a video on how to do it with DaVinci Resolve as well. Both DaVinci Resolve and Camtasia are very easy to use the different videos that you have created. So, remember, this is for Mac and PC. Check out my videos. I will be making another video on how to just begin with OBS, just to get started, so you can do this kind of magic, and other ones. So, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like. Bye for now.